Well, good morning, my Workhorse friends. It's actually it is morning. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and here in Kentucky, a bunch of storms rolled through, tornadoes and all kinds of stuff, and took down power lines and trees. So we have no electricity, and so I'm gonna be up on that most likely anyway. So I thought I'd come down here and make a few videos, seeing I can't do anything else. My sweet pea done went to bed on me, so I can't play with her. I could wake her up, but that'd get me in trouble too. So I'm down here in the garage, and I'm relying just on the light of my phone, because I got no other light, because I got no power. But I thought something would be important. I thought about calling these, you know how you have public service announcements? This should be like a Workhorse chassis public service announcement. And I've had two different people this has happened to, where the oil line developed a hole and pumped the oil out. And that's not a good thing. Makes for a very bad day. I can't remember. I know the one fella. Luckily, it happened to him. He was just idling in a parking lot. You look down and see all this big puddle of oil underneath his engine. I'm going to show you why it happens and how you can not let it happen to you. How you can fix it. So the culprit is this little plastic clip right here. Because you see, I got all my MacGyver zip ties on here to reinsure it doesn't come loose. Let me show you another clip. It's a clip made just like this clip here, and you can see how it's already monkeyed up. See how it's lost its little clip? It doesn't hold anymore. So if that clip fails on the back of that bracket there, these hoses will snap, or these aluminum pipes will snap loose and drop down onto the engine mounting bolt. Where's it at? Let me get myself focused here. Oh, there it is. There's the critter. Put my finger around here. Yeah, that bolt right there. That line will drop down, land on top of that bolt, and rub a hole in itself. And then you got oil pumped out all over the road or down the highway, wherever you're at. So we want to avoid that. So by getting you a couple of zip ties, you can see how I did it. I kind of crisscrossed them. And behind that there's like a little tit on the back side. You can see it when you're looking closely. Then I went another one. There's a little hole up top. Is that little hole right there? So I run a third one right there. Let's crawl around, see if we can get a better angle of it. Ouch. There you go. You see it there. And you can see back here where the pipes run to. So while I was editing this video, I wanted to point out a couple of things. I told you about the guy who blew his oil line while sitting in a parking lot. It pumped oil everywhere. Well, he sent me some pictures, and you can see there's one picture. You can see where it's been rubbing. And of course, there's the bolt, the culprit. And let's see, we got another picture here that's better. Yeah. So there's the actual hole. There's the actual hole in the line that bolt made. Of course, that's after he repositioned it and got all the oil and stuff cleaned off of it. And I remember he made some sort of repair on the road. I can't remember what he did. He somehow got it spliced, repaired, somehow was able to fix it. But I do know these original pipes are no longer available. We can't get them through Workhorse. And they can be somewhat of a pain to install because they're so long and twisted and curvy, trying to get through the frame rail and all that stuff. But Brazos has come up with a new set because we can't get it through Workhorse no more. They've come up with a custom set right here. And you see how they're made differently now. You got hard section on each end, but then you got the flexible hose in the center. So it makes it a little bit more easier to install. And of course, the nice thing about that rubber hose, you know, it's not going to wear itself in two, I wouldn't suspect, if it did get to rubbing something. And there's some information. It tells you about you have to change a bolt. A couple things you have to do a little bit differently, but all the instructions are right there. Everything you need to know, and I'll put a link to this below the video. And here's another picture he sent me just to point out how those oil lines connect. This is at the block side. And there's like a little plastic clip cover that hides this. You pull it back, and you'll see these little clips here, and you see a little hook that you pull that back out of the way. And I think there's one more picture. You know, there it is with it removed, and then the line just pulls out from the block. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Back to the show. Of course, they run right to our oil filter. These pipes go to our oil cooler. So there's oil pumping out and returning all the time while the engine is running. So we wanted to make sure that those lines are protected. And if that does happen to you, I'll put a link to them. Of course, Brazil still offers these lines. You can still buy them. So anyway, that's that. While I'm under here, though, let me point out a couple other things. It's always good to, I've pointed them out before sometimes, but there's new people all the time coming to the channel. And I'm getting golly. I realize I got over 400 crazy videos uploaded now, so it's getting hard to find stuff. What was I going to point out? So another thing, when you're, why am I blurry? There we go, focus. So another thing to look for, if you happen to see a little stain right here, a little drip, that's usually an indication your water pump's about to fail. So when you're under here, look for any staining. So I replaced mine, I don't know, probably at 45 or 50,000 miles is an hour, and of course there's a video on that. Something else to watch for is your harmonic balancer. See how that is nice and flush between the outer piece and the inner piece. There's a rubber ring right there. You want to make sure yours is nice and flush. Sometimes this happened to a few people I know where that rubber ring will fail or deteriorate and this outer pulley will start moving forward or rearward. And then when it gets extreme, your belt will jump off. So that's another thing. If you have a belt to fail on you, you think it was just a broken belt, be sure to look at this pulley, make sure that it's flush. Because sometimes I've seen this happen before, people, they break a belt, they put another belt on, go down the road and it breaks again. The reason it keeps breaking, because this pulley has become out of alignment. So keep that in mind. What else we want to, oh yeah, other pipes on the other side here. These can be problems. These can rub. Let me find out where it's at. These are your transmission cooler lines. And you can see that rust stain. Mine was rubbing, all that rust there. Because maybe from the factory or wherever, depends on how they get installed. Depends on where this bracket is bent, a little to the left, a little to the right. It'll rub this frame member and rub a hole right on that transmission oil cooling pipe. So double check that, make sure that's not coming in contact, make sure you got space there. And you know, that's another thing too, actually, it's got that same goofy clip on it, doesn't it? Hang on, let's get under here. Yep, look at there. All right, so it's got that same plastic clip, so I'm gonna go in behind this, add me some zip ties to this, just in case. So the same scenario could happen. If that clip was to fail, these pipes are going to get in here and rattle around, wear a hole in themselves. Well, that's why it's always a good idea to get under your RV and just poke around, look around. You always find something. Okay, I filmed this after I did the main video, but I just wanted to show you my little handiwork, what I ended up doing on those transmission lines. Got them all fixed up. There we go. No worries now, no worries. All right, back to the original video. You know, there's our starter. Make sure your starter wires and everything are good and tight. I'm about ready to drop that starter because I'm getting concerned. I'm getting a lot of calls right now with people's starters failing. They're really easy to change, but I'm going to try to maybe do a preemptive strike, take it apart, and just check the brushes. Usually it's just the brushes wear down. They lose contact. Once they lose contact, the starter just doesn't work. So if you happen to live in a town where they still have somebody who rebuilds starters, it's getting to be a lost art. Everybody just slaps on those China replacement starters. You'd be a whole lot better off to get the OEM original starter rebuilt. Or if you're on the road and it fails, then grab an aftermarket, get you back on the road, but keep your OEM, which stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. Try to explain my acronym sometimes, but they're always going to be a better starter than something aftermarket usually. You can see my solenoid failed, oh, I don't know, 20, 30,000 miles ago. I had an intermittent no start, and I did a video on installing that solenoid. But that is my original starter, and I'm at 75,000 miles. And also keep in mind, there's that shield. If you grab a starter, make sure that shield comes with it. So some of these aftermarket starters don't come with a shield, and if you don't get the shield, then the heat from your exhaust manifold will kill your O2 sensor, or at least not melt the wires off of it, or maybe do both. All right, something else to keep in mind. Okay, something else to look out for is I made this from a garage door flap thing because there's a little rubber flap on this side. They're bad about getting loose and being gone. Then you suck air through here instead of sucking air through your radiator pack like you're supposed to. And I had a huge gap on this side, and I was afraid of what. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to order one. I just stuck this in there. I need to get one, but the gap was so large, I was afraid that the factory little flap actually wouldn't give me a good enough seal. So that's something I need to check into. Another little key thing is this part right here. This little fitting that's under here will rub your brake line. I know this is common on the W24s. I'm not sure about the W22s, but it'll rub a hole right in that line, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the brake lines, or it's for the J72. No, I think it's the brake line. I believe the J72 line is up here. That's our auto park. So got that. Let's see if there's anything else to point out while I'm under here. Well, the only thing else I can think of, just grab your fan blade. Make sure it's good and tight. If you grab a hold of this thing and it freewheels, then you need a new one. I replaced mine last year. Still got a little shine to it. Yeah, it still looks pretty new. Maybe take a peek at your radiator, see how clean or dirty it is. I washed mine out last year. If you have overheating issues, you might want to check out my video on that, because they can really get dirty on actually between the two radiator packs, because you got your radiator, but then you got your condenser in front of it. And like dirt and crud will make it through the condenser, but then it will hang up, get stuck. I believe the fins must be smaller, would be my guess, on the radiator than they are the condenser, because all the bugs and crud seems to pack up on the radiator side, on the opposite side, what you can't hardly see. There's a real booger to clean sometimes, but if you have overheating issues, that could be it, or your fan clutch, either one. But I think that's all I can think of at the moment. You might wonder what that is. I did that to keep the heat off that, because I'm using that longer so the 1 quart oil filter, it hangs down a little bit more. And I noticed my label was getting melted off of it. It's picking up so much heat from the exhaust pipe. There is no exhaust leak, but it would melt that label. Once I put this little sheet metal on here, that took care of the problem. This is just a little thing, and I made a separate video on this. And I put a link to it. This is off of a motorcycle, kind of a universal heat shield I found on Amazon. But it did the trick and keeps that heat off that oil filter. And I got the benefits of using that 1 quart oil filter instead of that little half quart that it left the factory with. Alrighty. Well, I think that'll do for the Workhorse chassis public PSA announcement tonight. And I'm going to go get me some zip ties and come back over here and fix this clip so it is nice and secure, so I can protect those lines. Alrighty, I guess that'll do. Working in the dark tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, good morning, good day, whatever time it is. Have a blessed day. See you, bye.